Good morning, man. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Thanks so much for checking in. The city is very excited because we just found out tickets on sale Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for your June 7th show. We were just watching your AMA performance with the new kids, and you in particular look so happy to be on stage again.
It is. I mean, the new kids have been working hard the past couple of years and getting back out there, and we've been busting our butts as well. So it was nice to be back on a stage like that. You know, you're talking about a worldwide audience at the AMAs, and to be on stage together, first time on TV is. It was a great experience. I think the fans got a big kick out of it, and the response has just been amazing. So we're excited on kicking off this tour and excited to be back in Montreal on the 7th. So, yes, sir, get your tickets while you can, because everybody, yeah, she's back.
Hey, by the way, will both bands be on stage a lot, or is it going to be two separate shows that night?
It's really one show altogether. There's going to be certain times throughout the show where the new kids will obviously do their hits and do their thing by themselves. There'll be, this vice versa, same for us, parts of the show where we'll do our hits and be on the stage together doing our things. But, a lot of the show it's really a collaborative effort, kind of going back and forth with our songs. If you look at both of our catalogs in the past, over 2 decades of making music. That's a long time for two different boy bands to be making music for a long time. So as we go through our catalogs, you'll find that, there might be even some surprises of doing some other songs that we didn't do, maybe some covers. There'll obviously be some songs together that we're singing together. So a lot of back and forth, really like a co-headlining collaborative show, a lot of dancing, a lot of gags, and it's going to be very, very entertaining. I'm sure the show will probably be a little over 2 hours, I would say, as we go through our catalog. So very entertaining for the fans, both young and old, I think.
We're talking to Brian from the Backstreet Boys, who are coming to town with New Kids on June 7th. I'm trying to do the age differences here, and when New Kids were, let's say, at their peak, how old were you at the time? And do you remember listening to those guys on the radio?
Oh, man, I grew up listening to them. Well, I wouldn't say grew up listening to them because the age difference is not that far. If you look at the oldest guys in New Kids, they're just a few years older than myself. When I started with the Backstreet Boys almost 18 years ago, I was 18. So if you do the math, 18 and 18 is 36. So I'm looking at 36 years old the beginning of next year. Those guys, the oldest are, 40, 41. Joey being the youngest I think he's 38, I think. So I think he's like 2 years older than me. But to be honest with you, I never knew that, I never dreamed that I would grow up and kind of be one of those guys. I kind of turned into one of those guys in the New Kids on the Block. I was singing all of their songs, all of their hits in high school when I was a young kid, trying to get the girls just like everybody else. All the guys were walking around singing, I'll be loving you forever, and hang it tough. We were running around singing their songs, but little did I know that I would have my own catalog of, I'll Never Break Your Heart and I Want It That Way and Larger Than Life and, kind of become one of those guys.
And I imagine that night in Montreal, there's going to be maybe even a little competition between the two bands to see who's got the most fans at the Bell Center that night.
Well, I think to be honest with you, I think our fans get along. It's gonna be interesting to see how they react. If it's any inclination with the AMA performance, both young and old and anybody in between, I think they're going to enjoy the show. But it'll be interesting to see. A lot of times, I think about it from my perspective is that the Backstreet Boys fans are a little younger than, say, the New Kids fans. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they relate to the New Kids on the Block's music, because I think the New Kids fans, they recognize our music because we've been at it really strong for the past 16 years. So it'll be an interesting combination, but I know that our fans, definitely know their music. But it'll be a good, a good generation gap to kind of see how they relate to each other.
And of course, all those fans here in Montreal are going to be the first to tell you that if it wasn't for Montreal and Quebec, that maybe there wouldn't have been any Backstreet Boys. What are your memories of this city and this province?
Wow. If it wasn't for, you're so right, Kat. I mean, if it wasn't for Montreal, I mean, I don't know that the Backstreet Boys would have ever even broken America. I mean, to be honest with you. We broke in Europe first in the mid 90s, early to mid 90s, and then we broke in France, and then it spread to Montreal. And if it wasn't for Montreal, I swear to you, I don't know where the Backstreet Boys would be. So to flood through Canada like we did with the spark that was caused by Montreal and the whole French-speaking province of Canada, I mean, we're very, very grateful for that. I'll never forget being in the Millennium Tour, and we did what is now the Bell Center, like you said. It used to be called something else. We did the Molson Center at the time, 5 nights in a row. I have fond memories of getting stuck there in that huge ice storm in the late 90s that came up the eastern seaboard. It froze us there in Montreal for several days. I got a chance to see Phil Collins there at the Bell Center, the Molson Center at the time. So we have a lot of memories there, and we're thankful and grateful to our fans. They're looking forward to getting back.
And they're all going to be there June 7th. Again, tickets on sale Saturday at 10 a.m. It is so cool to talk to you, Brian, and can't wait to see you guys this summer.
Well, thanks, man. We're really looking forward to it, and get your tickets on Saturday because it's going to be a show to remember. Hey, this is Brian from the Backstreet Boys. Looking forward to seeing all of our fans on June 7th. Your chance to win free tickets right now at virginradio.ca. Do it right now. Get them on Montreal's Virgin Radio. Everybody, yeah.